All right. I've gone through your computer's browser history, and you seem to have a type.
The Dark Souls, bitch! Wait.
Wajah merah berseri merona, melambaikan tangan untuk ikut bergoyang. Flow. Semuanya nyanyi, hilangkan sepi. Semuanya nyanyi, lupakan sedih. What a shame, you're structured at the same. Inward bass with the squeak, it's just motherfucking lamb. Big names doesn't make me fierce.
Alright, so that was Gibbon. Man, a lot to digest for that one. Gibbon's someone in the scene, who has been around for a while but hasn't really broken out in the way that you'd expect someone who's been around and has who has the kind of skill and immense talent that he actually does. He hasn't really broken out into any of these larger kind of competitions, especially ones overseas. This one's online, obviously, is worldwide, but yeah. So seeing him here, seeing him doing what he does all the time, seeing him in the actual top 16 is awesome. You don't really get to see him compete in massive competitions like this very often. So yeah, it's really cool to see him for sure. The routine in particular, I was a little bit unsure at the start. I thought it was a little bit too simplistic in nature, and I don't mean like what he was doing was easy. It's just like the structure was very simple, wasn't all that complex. But then, as the track went on, he had his overarching musicality there for sure. Didn't understand the lyrics. It was a different language, unfortunately, for me. It doesn't mean no one else would understand it, but for me, I didn't understand the lyrics, so it takes a little bit away from me. But, again, as the routine started to go on, the complexity started to increase, rather. And then, he started to incorporate some battle techniques in there for sure. Obviously, the diss towards REMIX there, saying his structure is always the same and his squeaks are annoying. I'll give him a pass in this case because You know, a remix of like 3 or 4 years ago, if we're talking about remix like 3 or 4 years ago, I think that would have been more effective, because he did have a record of kind of being a little bit repetitive, and people like to use the term spammy, like spamming a lot. But now the current version of Remix is a lot more complex, and he has a lot more diversity. He uses a lot of the same sounds, but his structure is always next level, right? And yeah, he's always innovating in his own kind of style. Even though he does use similar sounds, he still innovates, and he still improves on the structure. So, but you know, it is a battle. So saying stuff like that only really works if you kind of back it up with what you're doing afterwards. Like, you can't say that then have like a lackluster beat. He came in with a crazy technical portion that kind of like lifted this entire routine up for me personally. If it wasn't for that part, I thought it would have been not mediocre. It would have been a little bit lackluster, I guess, for the kind of competition that he's being in. But that second half, where the direction of where that routine went, really saved it. So yeah, very good job from Gibbon. Crazy display of talent once again. No if it's going to be enough to beat Remix. Who knows though. Remix needs to come in with something equally as crazy, just like everyone else does. You need to give it 100% when you're having these competitions, and I think you know, battling your opponent in these cases will definitely play out better, especially since the fans are the people who are judging. So yeah, so very good round from Gibbon. Always like to see him. Need to see a little bit more of him, honestly. Maybe a little bit underrated for the overseas people. So all right, let's get into what Remix did.
Push up, bro, you did pretty well. Push some of me, but say fair, well. There's one thing that I can't tell. I am up against the undeveloped version of Hard Cell. You've been losing to me was a
Yeah. All right. So, you know, classic Remix there for sure. Yeah, I think this one here, I like the kind of consistency of this routine here for what it's supposed to be doing here. So this is a battle at the end of the day. Like I said, when you go back and listen to Gibbon's round, it was very slow at the start. Also the lyrics I'm not sure. Someone's gonna have to write out what he was saying in those lyrics. Maybe it would make a little bit more sense for his choice of like a direction there. It's a very good routine again, don't get me wrong, just for what it's supposed to be, like a battle like this. Starting off a little bit slow like that and then changing the style up halfway. Maybe not the best idea, but remix here, you know, for like an analogy of, you know, a boxer, he just started, the pace of it was very, very fast and hard hitting right from the get-go, and he didn't really let his foot off the pedal at all. And for a battle, that's super, super important, I think. So yeah, the style that he came in with, again, classic remix, you know, the heavy basses, almost kind of playing into what Gibbon was saying there in his diss. But you know, again, I'll say it again, that's just kind of the style that Remix has, you know, that's just who he is as a beatboxer. So it's kind of, some people might look at it and be like, haha, you know, Remix fell into Gibbon's hands. But no, he's kind of pointing out the obvious, you know, like that's Remix's style. Why would he try to do something that he's not comfortable doing? You know, not saying that he shouldn't be coming up with like new sounds and whatnot, but again, it's not like his structure, like he's implying, is exactly the same every single time. He's been improving immensely, and even though he's been using the same sounds, he's been kind of placing them in different ways, implementing them in different ways, like innovating and coming up with new routines structurally wise that are different, you know. So yeah, I like this routine a lot from Remix. Also, I think that the verbal jabs here were a little bit more effective than Gibbon's, even though I think, again, that what Gibbon did there would have been a lot more impactful a few years ago if he was battling Remix, but today's version of Remix, not so much, I think, in my opinion. Still, shout out to him for, like, you know, trying something like that. Obviously, it is a battle at the end of the day, so you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, that comparison to like an underdeveloped Hartzell I thought was pretty funny. I think it's a lot more effective for him to say that to Gibbon than what Gibbon said to him in this case, as of today, 2023. And yeah, you know, but at the end of the day, with me saying that, I did really like Gibbon's round in particular, especially that second half after the diss that he had. I thought was very, very strong, a really crazy unique technicality there from Gibbon. So this one's a little bit difficult because even though I liked remixes a lot and I thought it was more consistent, I think that Gibbon actually had the highest point in terms of enjoyment for me in the battle, which was his second half of that crazy technical portion. It's only the first half of Gibbon's round that kind of pushes him a little bit below Remix for me. So yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that. Yeah, I might have to give this battle to Remix. Very small, a very small increase in my opinion there for Remix. I know I could have worded that better, but I'm just kind of thinking about the larger scale of the battle itself. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Gibbon had like the strongest moment of the battle for me in terms of his crazy technicality. Remix was a little bit more consistent in his round entirely, and I thought that his battle technique and his diss was more impactful in the battle itself. So I would give this battle to Remix slightly. So yeah, that's my prediction there. So let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. How did you guys feel about Gibbon's round as a whole and Remix's round as a whole, and the kind of back and forth jabs that they're giving each other? Who do you side with, and what do you think was a little bit more impactful or effective in the overarching scheme of the battle itself? So anyway, if you guys enjoyed the videos, links in the description. Go check out the videos, leave a like on the videos. Go check out their individual channels, which is the most important part. Again, I'll always say it, even though it's hosted on Swiss Beatbox, and I know that they do post their channels on their video itself at the end. Definitely still go check them out. I'll leave the links in the description. They deserve the recognition, even though it's hosted on this massive beatboxing platform. They definitely deserve just as much recognition for what they're doing here. So if you want to support me, you can leave a like on this video. You sub to my channel. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next beatbox reaction video.